Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation in Mongolia for 2 decades. Switzerland, renowned for its high quality of life index, prominence in international banking, standard-setting watches, and delectable cheese, is nestled amid majestic mountains, serene lakes, verdant valleys, charming villages, and natural splendor, offering a captivating landscape. Meanwhile, Mongolia is a vast expanse in Central Asia, celebrated for its dairy products and unique fermented delights. The allure of Mongolia lies in its diverse terrain, encompassing the Gobi, the Hanggai Mountains, expansive plains, and rolling steppes. Moreover, Mongolia is renowned as the world's leader in cashmere production. Despite the geographic and cultural disparities between the two nations and differences in language, history, lifestyle, and development, both countries share the common values of democracy, a free market economy, education, and regional peacekeeping efforts. This year marks the 60th anniversary of our diplomatic friendship, underscoring the bond between our two nations. In 2001, in a heartwarming display of solidarity, Switzerland, which has the most competitive economy in the world and a long history of democracy, extended a helping hand to Mongolian herders affected by a severe dzud. The Swiss government provided $1.3 million in cash assistance, supporting families in need and helping them rebuild their livelihoods. During the difficult times in Mongolia, shortly after socioeconomic reforms and the transition to a new governance system were underway, 80% of the herder households were affected by a series of dzud. More than 14,000 herders lost their livestock, depriving them of their primary source of income needed to sustain their livelihoods. At that time, in response to the request from the government of Mongolia, Switzerland was one of the first countries to assist disaster victims. Shortly after, in 2004, Switzerland opened an office in Mongolia, the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, known as the SDC office. As part of Switzerland's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, all projects are fully financed by Swiss taxpayer money. Over the last 20 years, many initiatives have been implemented in Mongolia on sustainable natural resource management, food security, agriculture, mining, education, governance, culture, and social welfare. All initiatives have been aimed to bolster democracy, alleviate poverty, and empower Mongolian citizens, making valuable contributions to improving livelihoods.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends, Mongolia and Switzerland enjoy an unbreakable bond. It gives me great pleasure to mark the 20 years dedication of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, integral part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Switzerland. Over these 2 decades, the impactful Swiss contribution in Mongolia strides sectors as agriculture and climate change, governance and human rights, digitalization, education, culture, and humanitarian aid. Our journey has been characterized by fruitful partnerships with both local and national organizations, research and education institutions, and multilateral entities alongside with the women and men of Mongolia. Together, we have established a robust legacy of progress. Bringing our hearts and minds together, we really can make a change. However, as we are a governmental institution, our most important partner was and is the Mongolian government. In a country that upholds democratic values, the government guarantees sustainability beyond the conclusion of any intervention. However, we are proud to see that many of our ideas and new approaches and tested experiences, first introduced on a small local level, have been incorporated into new legislation and are introduced in all IMACs today. My heartfelt gratitude goes to all our partners, particularly the government of Mongolia, whose unwavering commitment and high professionalism have been instrumental in achieving our shared objectives. Thank you for your dedication and collaboration, and not to forget, for your wonderful friendship.
As Mongolia's developmental needs evolved over time, concerted efforts were made to address not only governance and educational, but also climate change, environmental sustainability, and urban challenges, such as energy-efficient construction, waste management, air pollution reduction, and health. Over the past 2 decades, Switzerland's cooperation, which started as purely humanitarian assistance, has extended to a wide range of sectors, meticulously devising and implementing needs-based programs that enhance the quality of life for Mongolians. SDC has worked with governmental and non-governmental organizations, as well as international organizations. Over $257 million has been allocated to implement more than 350 projects. Today, the enduring Swiss impact is felt all across Mongolia's 330 Soms in 21 provinces and Khoros of 9 districts in Ulaanbaatar. These initiatives have not only enriched the lives of Mongolian citizens, but have also contributed to their personal growth, knowledge acquisition, and the preservation of cultural heritage for future generations. At the very beginning, Switzerland concentrated on activities in agriculture. Let us begin our story with agriculture. The most well-known Swiss initiative is work with herders, known as the Green Gold Animal Health Project. The Green Gold Animal Health Project had the longest duration and delivered commendable outcomes. The sustainable management of Mongolian grasslands promoted development and increased the income of over 90,000 herder households. This initiative also rejuvenated 20 million hectares of pasture land, established a system for tracing the origin of animal products like yak hide and fur, and enhanced their quality, thereby elevating their market value. The same project supported the introduction of the law on livestock tax. Today, every herder household pays their taxes for each animal. The money is collected by the Soms and invested directly in the Soms to improve the sustainability of pasture management. Herders understand and pay attention to the importance of using livestock tax funds to have sufficient water for their animals, improve grazing capacity through rotational grazing, and focus on quality instead of quantity regarding their livestock. In addition to working with herders and improving their livelihoods, SDC decided to work with smallholding farmers. In 2004, Mongolia did not produce enough potatoes to meet domestic demand. SDC decided to work with farmers, research centers, and the Ministry of Agriculture to introduce high-quality potato seeds adapted to Mongolia's special climate. This project was so successful that SDC decided to extend this approach and included the production of many different vegetables. With all the different partners, significant milestones were achieved regarding food security in Mongolia. Presently, Mongolia meets its demand for staple crops and produces nearly all its main vegetable seeds locally. Moreover, around 70% of the country's vegetable requirements are fulfilled through domestic production, reducing dependence on imports and fortifying food security. Let's now take a closer look at another very innovative Swiss initiative. Sustainable artisanal mining, which catalyzed a transformation in the mining sector and was in response to problem herders were facing. In 1990, herders who lost their livestock due to widespread unemployment and successive years of dzud were in search of alternative sources of income and began to dig for gold. In Mongolia, these gold diggers were known as ninja miners. As the herders became artisanal miners, they were accused of using mercury to extract gold, polluting rivers and springs, and causing damage to the native flora and fauna. They lacked recognition under the legal framework and did not receive basic social services. Through Swiss support, small-scale mining practices were formalized. The miners were empowered. They now operate legally, pay taxes, and therefore also receive social benefits. Additionally, they organized themselves through small-scale mining associations and NGOs. With the introduction of new knowledge and tools, they managed to reduce environmental harm and improve their income. Switzerland is committed to promoting the implementation of all 17 SDGs worldwide, including Mongolia. Swiss support has played a pivotal role in advancing Mongolia's Sustainable Development Goals 2030, fostering inclusive growth with the ultimate goal of leaving no one behind. The allocation for the governance sector exceeded $62.9 million, nearly one-third of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation in Mongolia's budget. Swiss initiatives supported the decentralization of public services by bringing them closer to citizens and ensuring equitable access for every citizen, regardless of whether they live in urban and rural areas. What does this mean practically? There were several initiatives. Let's start with the well-known one-stop-shop public service delivery centers, which were developed and introduced with Swiss knowledge. This initiative evolved into Mongolia's premier integrated government service centers, streamlining access for citizens and legal entities to over 450 government services efficiently and without delays. It's important to mention that the operational budgets of these centers have become an integral part of province budgets, guaranteeing their sustainability in the future. The Swiss also emphasize strengthening accountable and effective national and subnational governments and an empowered civil society, both responding to the needs of citizens. SDC introduced a new methodology to Mongolia, participatory budgeting. This is a democratic process in which community members decide how to spend part of a public budget. It gives people real power over real money. Today, local governments are in a better position to deliver accessible and equitable services to rural and urban populations. The government of Mongolia has prioritized the digital transformation of public services to increase transparency and accountability. Simultaneously, digital tools are helping to reduce bureaucracy and corruption. Switzerland supported this vision, digitizing 95 public services, including those related to business permits, municipal agency services, and legal aid centers. A robust parliament is essential in a democratic nation, serving as a cornerstone of democracy and ensuring governance aligns with the will of the people. Strengthening legislative and oversight capabilities is crucial to uphold democratic principles. Mongolia's parliament received support from Switzerland, strengthening its legislative and oversight capabilities. New methods and tools were introduced, and institutional structures were reinforced. Very recently, a long-term partnership agreement was signed with the Interparliamentary Union. One of the main challenges encountered by the parliaments in democratic nations is strengthening the bond between the state and its citizens by guaranteeing the freedom of expression and voice for all citizens. In response to this challenge, Mongolia introduced the e-parliament system and digital petition practices. These initiatives empower citizens to discuss and vote on proposed laws, promoting inclusivity and citizen engagement in the democratic process. Support for improving good governance practices is important. However, sustainable change would not be possible without improving the livelihoods of women and men. Therefore, wherever the Swiss have SDC offices, good governance projects are implemented alongside investment in livelihood improvement, particularly through knowledge transfer, training, and investments in education. $29 million has been invested in education, encompassing vocational training and foundational education. More than $14.5 million was invested specifically in creating new jobs, targeting young men, women, and single mothers. The transfer of knowledge was always an integral part of all initiatives. Providing training and assistance to small farmers and entrepreneurs have enhanced livelihoods and food security in Mongolia. More than $110 million was allocated for green initiatives, all geared towards combating climate change, lessening its impact, and fostering environmental sustainability. Of course, there are projects in the agriculture sector involving farmers and herders already prominently included this green component towards sustainability. However, here we are talking about more urban approaches, such as improving the waste collection system, promoting recycling initiatives, and reducing air pollution. Simultaneously, along with introducing new technology, information on the health impacts of air pollution was disseminated widely, heightening awareness among expecting mothers and preschoolers and mitigating the health risks associated with air pollution exposure. Another approach focused on reducing heating energy consumption in schools and gears the traditional Mongolian home. Cooking, heating, and insulation packages, CHIP sets, help to improve home insulation, revolutionizing heating practices in Mongolia. This strategic approach provided a comfortable living environment during cold seasons and minimized the risk of burns for children and gears. This new technology also reduces the harmful emissions associated with coal combustion. The innovative technology of coal-free home heating has improved the lives of 1.7 million residents in Ulaanbaatar, benefiting 72% of urban households. A special program was developed in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Science to improve children's knowledge and awareness regarding climate change and sustainable and environmentally friendly green development. This program aims to incorporate this knowledge into school curriculums.
Сүүлийн 20 гаруй жил Швейцарын хөгжлийн агентлагийн хэрэгжүүлж байгаа төслийн хөтөлбөрүүд олон салбарт бодит үр дүн авч ирснийг тэмдэглэн хэлэхдээ таатай байна. Монголчууд бид Швейцарын хөгжлийн агентлагтай хамтран бүтээсэн үр дүн олд амжилтаараа цаашд улам баттан бэхжүүлэхийн зэрэгцээ. Нэгдсэн үндэсний байгууллагын доктортой хөгжлийн 16 дугаар зорилтыг биелүүлэхийн төлөө аржилсан засаглалыг төлөвшүүлэх чиглэлээр хоригдлуулсан туршлага бусад улс оронтой хуваалцаж хамтран ажиллахдаа бэлэн байна. Ялангуяа сүүлийн 7 жилийн хугацаанд Монгол Улсын их хурл Швейцарын парламент хооронд нэгт хамтын ажиллагааны үр дүнд Монгол улсад парламентын хэн шалгалтын тогтолцоог боловсронгуй болгож бэхжүүлэх үйлсэд ихээхэн агц гарсны онцлог тэмдэглэж байна. Монгол Улсын парламент өнгөрсөн 2023 оны онд түүхэндээ анх удаа хүний эрх гендрийн нүдээр өөртөө толдон харж цаашид анхаарах асуудлаа тодорхойлоход Швейцарын хөгжлийн агентлаг биднийг дэмжиж ажилласанд тусгайлан талархаж байна. Монголын арчилсан засаглалыг бэхжүүлэх чиглэлээр бидэнтэй олон жилийн туршид итгэлтэй түнш байсан Швейцарын ард түмэн, Швейцарын холбооны улсын засгийн газар, Швейцарын парламентад Монгол Улсын их хурлын нэрийн өмнөөс чин сэтгэлийн талархал илэрхийлье.
Today, Mongolia is a leading country in respecting democratic principles, protecting human rights, and having good practices in the rule of law. Switzerland has partnered with the Mongolian people over the last 20 years. We are very glad that with our financial support and ongoing knowledge exchange, we could be part of the efforts of Mongolian women and men for the betterment of future generations and a peaceful world. We are proud to say that we contributed to the people-oriented sustainable development of this country in many different sectors, always to improve the livelihoods and quality of life of the Mongolian people. We have learned from each other again and again, and will continue to have many stories and experiences to share in the future. We have built a solid partnership of mutual understanding and confidence, which will endure over time and space. We walk this long journey together. Even as the forms of partnership exchange may change over time, we will certainly continue to find ways to walk together in the future. Thank you to everyone who has been part of this amazing and beautiful journey and who will continue to forge new paths of partnership.
Бат бэх түншлэл
харилцан итгэлцлийг
хамтдаа бий болгосон Швейцарын ард түмэн засгийн газарт
чин сэтгэлийн талархал илэрхийлье. Баярлаа.
баярлаа.
баярлалаа.
Баярлаа.
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 Баярлалаа.
Баярлаа.
Монгол Швейцарын ган бот найрамдал нөхөрлөл бүтээлч хамтын ажиллагаа цэцгэлэн хөгжих болтугай.
Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation in Mongolia for 2 decades.